All right. Good morning from me and the turkey birds outside. There they are. They're saying hello. We're doing real good. We're keeping the floor heated up with the excess solar. 82 degrees in the floor, 81 coming out of the hot water tank there. Um, the it's in the losing cycle. Part of this is not being charged. The is otherwise we're doing real good. The stove is all hooked up. It's only 20 degrees outside. The windows are open upstairs. It's just really comfortable. This is perfect. Anything lower than 20, you got to shut those windows upstairs. Um, but this makes it just more easy to. The floor doesn't get overwhelming. It just is warm, so you can rub your feet on it, and it just stays really nice, even though it's cooler outside still. We did have a few warm days right around the solstice, and that's kind of like a precursor to what your summer is going to be like. So for the biggest part of the nation, just figure out that it's going to get hotter, and it's only going to get hotter after that, just like the ocean, y'all. This is coming around pretty quick. I still stand by my best guesstimate. The when and if we lose Thwaites Glacier, I mean, is there things that we can do to fix it? Yeah, we could. We could freeze it back into place. Um, that whole wall barrier thing that they were thinking about putting up, that iron curtain, that actually won't help. That'll only exacerbate what's happening. It'll make it melt quicker. But maybe that's their thought process, is to get it to melt away so it doesn't break off in like catastrophically calve. But that's really not what's happening there, y'all. On a bigger scheme, that's a volcanic crack to the west, and that's where it's on. And that's the heat that activity as the ice melts, the pressure releases, the volcanic activity increases because of the release of the mantle pressure. It causes it to happen. Is that it's only like a chain reaction. We need more ice, like miles thick, and it would actually even slow down Earth just a microscopic amount. And that's what we to balance this out. Do I think that the Earth like popped its cork thermodynamically every 125,000 years? No, I think there was a time when it didn't do that, like before we had that precursor wobble, or it was in a different way, because it was a water world back then. Is what I'm trying to get at. In a lot of things that are controversial, do I think that like Earth hit a planet and spit out the moon? No, I don't. The moon is made from lighter material that Earth didn't attract, and it does have a small core, and it attracted as much as it could. Did they ever collide hard enough, Earth and the moon, to like for how to say that? Is if you look at Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, in that path, the cores are because they settled out because of the frequency of the sun, and they're within margins of one another. If Earth collided with a bigger planet enough to spit out the moon, which is a fourth of the size of the Earth, that would be a big event, is what I'm trying to get at. The Earth's core would be much bigger. It would be noticeably bigger. There is no extra core material, and that doesn't explain for the moon's little tiny core. The moon just was formed in the same frequency path. You got to look at how material settles out, like in a gold sluice, or how they vibrate and separate heavy from lighter materials. That's what happened in the solar system. That's how I see it, not how they preach it, just how I see it. They think everything is gravity, which gravity plays a part, but I believe in frequency, because I think everything happened at once. I think they're seeing a shit ton away, But I don't really think they're seeing the beginning. I think it's way bigger than that, like way, way, way bigger, because there's no frequency coming back. We're in the initial expansion, or there's nothing out there. There's no void. In when I see pictures of the universe, like really clear pictures, I see great big patterns out there, and they're seeing them too. I'm not the only one, y'all. But yeah, I see things a little bit different than a lot of people. I get that. And so I try not to be real judgmental, except when it comes to Trump. I get that. Only because the bad part is, y'all, is he's really not even, he only brings on the bad person. If you believe in your own, if you believe that book and everything that's written, he's the one who brings it on. It's the next little demonic freak that you got to worry about from that bunch. Or what happens after is what I'm trying to get at. Revelations 13:5 is where I think you find that. There was a time when I used to know the Bible really, really, really good. Chapter and verse is, and I'm not the Antichrist. I believe he existed. I just believe that he was speaking physics and they were eating crayons. It's just how I see it, y'all. Even when he said that he wasn't the one and da 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 da, how to say that? I just think he was speaking physics and they were eating crayons. That's just how I see it. In all the rest of that stuff, I believe every religion, every people has the right to their own thing, to their own superstition or whatever. I don't believe that any one human being or any one entity has the right to say, this is the way you have to think, this is the way you have to believe, this is the way you have to feel. That's the part that I say no to. And that's the reason that I served. It's a part of the Constitution. It's how I 100% believe. I'm a constitutional conservative, meaning I believe in no more intervention in your life than absolutely necessary or that you want. Some people want more than others. Hey, great. If they like all that kissy, huggy bullshit, let them have as much of that shit as they can stand. And for the ones who don't, well, don't cram it on them. I just feel that's how I feel. I'm sorry, I just feel that way. In one example of that is here at the pool. There was a young guy there. He was a little kid, and he didn't want to take off his t-shirt. There was something he did not want to do. They made him do that, but they forced him to be there, and he didn't want to be there to begin with. And he screamed for 3 hours. He screamed a blood-curdling scream, and that's not good. I've brought this up before. That's not good for the kid. That's traumatic. It's traumatic for anybody that was in that building at the time. It sounded like they were pulling his skin off. He was screaming to that level. And it didn't matter if he was in the pool where the water was, where it really echoed, or in the bathroom, or wherever he was screaming the same way. And yes, he was probably I don't know the names of all that stuff, but he was probably one of those. One of the names is what I'm trying to get. I don't know which one. They don't even care. I'm just saying he was clearly not fucking happy with where he was at. At least try to make him less happy or whatever you want. Do something other than forcing him to do what he doesn't want to do is what I'm trying to get at. And that's the way I feel about people forcing religion. Just like that poor little kid screaming, saying, I didn't want to be no part of this, and nobody catching on to that. I feel that same way. And anytime anybody tries to infringe your rights or whatever, that's how I believe, 100%. And like this warrantless search and seizure and eavesdropping and all that, they're going to try to pass this off as it's a good thing. Dude, nobody needs that shit in their life. Do they do it? Yeah, they do. In the shut that they had cause for, that's really worth doing. But they're not talking that. They're talking about doing it in mass, like feeding AI model kind of in mass. In mass, that's not good, y'all. That's just there's no upside to that, especially not when delusional billionaires that are involved with this ballroom, with Trump, just in general in politics, that are involved with this. This is just no way, no. There's no upside to this show. Just trying to be forewarned. Like, I'm not saying I'm some Notre Dame dumbass, okay? I'm probably that, but I'm not trying to say I'm clairvoyant or nothing like that. But I've been talking about this whole thing for a long time, and a lot of you follow me for what reasons I don't know personally. I'm glad you do follow me. It was weird in the beginning when I was just posting most of it for my kids for different hemp things, and then it just got wild. Wild to me. I'm not a real big kissy huggy kind of person, and good for those who are. Hey, I'm not knocking nobody. I'm just not that person. I'm just not that one. I do appreciate the people who follow me. I got distracted, y'all, on this. Let's get back on track. Probably not going to figure it out from here. Yeah, because I got real distracted. But with Trump, everything that he does, it makes a lot more sense if you understand that it's to benefit Russia, directly, indirectly, whatever. If he keeps the blockade in check, like he's saying on Iran, it makes Iran more dependent on Russia. They can go through the Caspian Sea and get grain. That we're not stopping them. We're not starving them. We're just inconveniencing them from making money from a financial deal. But is this going to end? No, it's not. This is not. And even if when it ends and he capitulates, because he will, and he gives them everything that he wants, because he will, and he gets nothing in return, because he won't. When all this happens, is what I'm trying to get at. It's going to be a forever mark financially, economically on the globe. It is when the Houthis a few months ago did all that blowing up the ship thing in the Red Sea. That's the reason why they're afraid of going through the Straits of Hormuz as they are. Nobody wants to lose a ship and a cargo and insurance because you can't insure it no more. The insurance companies are the ones who are basically, blackballing the Red Sea right now. The Red Sea only does a trickle, a minute amount of traffic of what it used to do. Only the local to the thing. And that's the same way it's going to be with the Strait of Hormuz. You call it the Strait of Iran. It's going to be a global checkpoint or a global choke point at this point. We really don't need, and I don't mean this sarcastically or egotistically or nothing like that, the biggest thing, and it's not oil, but I mean it's not directly petroleum, that we need is the fertilizer, the ammoniums and stuff like that. And that comes through the same processes, or byproducts of the same processes. And we do need that for the fertilizer, and without that, we're going to have a global famine like we have never seen biblical. Like all the stories in the Bible, add them all together. Put all the bad stories together in one bag. It's going to be like that, y'all. And we're making that happen right now. Because cutting down the Straits of Hormuz, they're not going to push out the fertilizer or whatever. This isn't over. If they don't get to keep the uranium to be able to make a bomb so they can do some biblical shit later on, because this is all what this is about, is they want to be able to do some biblical shit. Or what they're already, they want to like end the fucking world by some Holocaust and all that, or God's coming back thing. Apocalyptic, that's the word I was trying to think of, apocalyptic. The four horsemen and all that. And it just FYI, it's a pale green horse, just so you know, and you're not looking for the wrong damn color. It's a pale green horse. Is why was that important? I don't know. I'm just rattling now. But the Strait of Hormuz is never going to open again in the near future, in the next 20 years, 30 years, as long as it's been since the same religious lunatics took the college kids hostage. 40 years, probably longer. A long time. It's not been right over there because of the religious bullshit. It's still not going to get right, y'all. And I don't care what flavor of religion you do or whatever like that. I'm just saying, when you try to force your crap on somebody else, you're not right. That does not make you right. You can be as offended as you fucking well want. Just because you're offended doesn't make you right. Sorry. It just doesn't. And just that is what it is. But that's where we're at. And no, it's not going to get any better anytime soon. Just to be honest, it's not. And a lot of bad shit's going to happen because of this. You're going to see, really soon, you're going to see the financial credit market or whatever take a kneecapping like Tanya Harding. That'll roll into the banking deal. It's going to be like 2008 all over again. It's because of this. He alienated every country in the world. He made America a pariah when it came to tourism. That is the bread and butter of Main Street America. Wall Street and Main Street are not the same, y'all. What else? I don't know. We better cut it and run here. It's not over until they say it's over. They have the leverage, is all I'm trying to get at. I'm not rooting for their side. I'm just telling you the way it is. That's just the way you got to look at it. It'd be like us trying to wage war with China. That's just silly people talking silly shit. Right now, we can produce 100,000 first-person views drones a year in America, our manufacturing capacity. China produces 500,000 first-person view drones a month. That's theirs. China produces roughly 4,000 blue water ships a year. We produce about 10. We're in both sides, Republican and Democrat. Run those two words together, because it don't matter. Whoever sells out to the billionaires is the same political party. It's just theater. We sold out to the billionaires. They sold America out, manufacturing out to China, wherever, to whatever nation that they could sell to, wherever it brought in the biggest quarterly earnings. And we went, yay, yay. And the whole time we kept saying, it's capitalism who's bringing you this prosperity. No, they just dug, it was like digging sand out from underneath the foundation. No, they just eroded it. And no, you can't, it's not going to work like that, y'all. It will not work like that. Not sustainable, however you want to say it. The billionaire greed is not sustainable for America. 50 years ago, they were charged 70%. We had research and development. We had manufacturing. We had Main Street. We had we had it all. We were the shit of the world 50 years ago, while billionaires paid taxes. Now billionaires, all they do is run around crying like welfare queens, in crying for more tax breaks is what I'm trying to get at, in trying to reinvent a new way to blow up a pointy firecracker. When that's the wrong way to get into fucking space. They know it. It's not... Everybody gets it now. I mean, this is too old to say that we don't understand how to do it. Is there ways to make these ships? Yeah, there are. We have the material. It's light enough, it passes all, so it's not interfering with the magnetics. We have the thorium. The China made them even small enough. In new reactor designs, will make them much more powerful. And we have this ability right here, right now, today. And we can move better forward, faster. We could have cities, towns, or whatever on both the moon and Mars. We need more infrastructure to get to Mars, but the way they're doing it, there's so much risk involved, is all I'm trying to get at. The whole pointy firecracker thing, it's just not sustainable for the trash that they're getting up into space. And to get it right back to the reality of all this, y'all, that we were saying, is 5 years from now or less, the Thwaites Glacier is going to calve. When it does, the AMOC is going to slow down enough. The storms are already high enough, a little bit more evaporation, but there's going to be a whole shit ton more evaporation. Atmospheric rivers of moisture. The higher that the fresh water gets into the ocean, they don't mix. They stay separate, y'all. If you didn't realize that, you got to read some books. The problem is that we're just putting too much, and we're like pumping out our aquifers, trying to sustain golf courses and things that are not sustainable. I'm sorry, every town does not need 3 or 4 PGA golf courses. Sorry, doesn't need it. There's so much stuff that we do that is just not realistic. There is some good shit that's coming along. Back when I was on Twitter, we talked about for a long time. Putting the solar over the top of the canals, coming along, I've seen on the deal. Certain batteries, the graphene batteries. I don't do any social media at all anymore. Elmo broke me of that. It was just like, oh, goddamn. I make these videos, that's it. It's a one-way thing with most of y'all. I do hear from a few of you. You email me and stuff like that. Still not into no nothing like nothing. We got shit to do if you want to get it done. If you don't want to get caught up in the next ice age, because what follows the Thwaites Glacier calving is within about 10-year period, is hell on earth. Volcanic activity is going to go through the roof. That's going to put sulfuric acid and rain into the skies. It'll start like stuff is going to get like run down really quick, like it's going to wear out. And if you didn't notice, the nastier that our atmosphere gets, the faster this is already going to happen. It's going to get much worse, is all I'm trying to say. But is it going to any one thing going to be catastrophic or one day? Nope. Except for when the Thwaites Glacier calves, that's going to displace a few million people. Even here in America, we're going to be less affected than other places. Almost everywhere is going to be affected much worse than we are. Let's word it that way. Just because the way we build and in the way that our topography is the rest of the world is going to suffer like way worse than we are. That's why they're not afraid of that part. But what comes after that, the waves, the storms, the inundation, all that crap, the it flows away. God damn it, they call that erosion. That's going to lead to a lot of shit. And the people have to move. I mean, they can't live. The people that are on the flatlands of most of America, the bench, are going to automatically become like the Bayou people of Louisiana. Can those people move and live there? Probably. They probably welcome the extra space. But can the rest of the people? No. That's a learning curve that would be too hard for most people. I'm not saying you can't. A lot of people would, is what I'm trying to get at. But it's going to be very hard. Let's leave it at that. Um, that's one thing that Americans, for the most part, are resourceful. Um, for the biggest, if you're going to make it through all what's going to come before the Ice Age, and that's going to be within about 10 years of the Thwaites Glacier, Kevin, we're going to be in the Ice Age. Um, and then, that's different conditions, but still it's survival. And is there people that'll adapt? Yes, there are. Is it going to leave a lot of people in memory? Yeah, it will. Just be honest. It's going to leave a lot of people in memory. So, I wish y'all well. That's all I got to say. I just wish you well. And we're going to stop it here. All right, we'll talk to you then. Bye.